I'm joined by the Shadow Minister for Infrastructure, Transport and Regional Development, and to mention our first ever female Agriculture Minister, I must add, Bridget McKenzie. Bridget, thank you so very much for joining us. I guess we've seen Murray Watt come out today basically saying those biosecurity measures will be in place. What's your take on it?
Well, too little too late, but obviously welcome the tightening of biosecurity measures. I've spent today along the Murray River meeting with local councils, and instead of talking about regional development opportunities, it was the number one topic today. I've spoken to farmers who can't get insurance for their herds as a result of foot and mouth being on our doorstep. And I think for too long this government has had a bit of a laissez-faire, shall we say, risk management approach to a disease that could devastate not just our beef and dairy herds, but regional economies more broadly, and would forevermore change our trading status as a foot and mouth disease, status-free worldwide, which is of immense value in this era. So I've, as Transport Shadow, obviously been on the phone to airports, obviously understanding that those mats are on their way. They will be arriving in Melbourne Airport, the busiest port for incoming Indonesian passengers in our country. Over a third, like 30%, of our arrivals by both plane and passenger numbers are into Melbourne, and they're not going to get the mats till Monday. And as you said in your opening, industry's been calling for this for weeks.
Yeah. Bridget, do you think that, I know that we hear from a lot of people that, of course we're going to declare things when we come in from Indonesia, but sometimes people don't. Do you think we need a stronger social media campaign that isn't just fluffy animals? People need to see the absolute dire nature of what is going to happen should this get out. I mean, they're not going to want to be wandering into farmyards and feedlots to be slaughtering animals and then setting them on fire. Okay,
so what do a lot of people do when they head to Bali in particular? Eat, pray, love. You're walking through paddy fields, etc. You're walking, for your morning walk, etc. You're going through streets and a society where animals are an integral part of how you run your lives over there. So you may not go on a farm tour, but if you've hiked that volcano, or you've walked through a paddy field, you've come into contact with the material that would potentially devastate our country, and seeing cattle, sheep, animals being shot from Cape York down to Hobart and beyond. I think we can't underestimate how catastrophic this would be, and I've been noting, certain people claiming that people are getting hysterical about the risk on our doorstep. Yeah. But if you come out here to the regions, this is the thing that is keeping farmers, and not just farmers, but as you opening said, truck drivers, the whole supply chain up at night. And if it gets here, we shut everything down for 72 hours. All our abattoirs, you can't move off farm, etc. Everything gets shut down. And so what that will actually do to our supply chain, let alone the decade-long recovery, and to never get that status back. So I think when you're talking about Alana McTiernan, I thought that was really interesting, right? Because agriculture ministers do their best work when they understand the communities that they represent. And both Murray, top bloke, great guy to go and have a beer with and a laugh with, but failed to appreciate the devastating nature of this disease, its proximity, and how quickly, with 16,000 passengers arriving a week, it could be transmitted here.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we need to move on to another issue, because I know we're heading into the first sitting week, and I know that energy will be top of mind, not only for your party room, but also the parliament and things like that. Nuclear, it's been on the tip of everyone's tongues for what feels like years now. We're going to see China build 150 new reactors. Japan wants to weigh in. Given what's happening on the East Coast here and the weekend's weather forecast, which is probably going to be even more dire, where do you stand? Where do the Nats stand on nuclear? And how are the regions sort of reacting to that? Pardon the pun.
But yeah, nice one. Look, I've been public about this for a very, very long time in my public life. I am a supporter of nuclear energy generation. We're part of the G20. All of our our economic competitors can avail themselves of this technology. It's safer, it's able to be delivered quicker, it's zero emissions. All the European countries, the Scandinavian countries, France, Germany, et al., America, avail themselves of this energy source. We are one of the very few in the G20 that doesn't and that has no plans to avail themselves. I think it is an anachronistic response in this era. We want to move to a low emissions economy. The world is moving that way. Our economy is based on manufacturing, energy intense industries, and we need to avail ourselves of this energy source. You know, for those like the Greens, they're wanting 75% emissions. I think will be one of their amendments they'll be moving to the government's legislation when they bring it on. Well, maybe they should attach an amendment to get rid of the moratorium on nuclear, and let's just let the facts speak for themselves, be rational in this argument, so that we can have a zero emission fuel source that also can keep us warm in winter, cool in summer, and drive our industries.
Well, a rational discussion, Senator.
So no argument from me. Yeah. No argument from me.
I think we're definitely going to hear not many rational arguments, but I think it's all going to be happening in your chamber and the 47th Parliament, that is for sure. Senator Bridget McKenzie, thank you so very much for joining us on the Kenny Report. We'll see you next week.